You feel like you're meant for something more, but you're stuck in your current job. You want to find a career you love and get paid well for it. But it can be scary to leave our comfort zone and take some risks. I've been there. Hi, I'm Neeraj Mathrani, a senior manager turned career coach, and in this video I'll share some wisdom that has helped me and my clients find clarity in our next steps. This knowledge will be helpful to you whether you're just starting fresh in your career or looking to pivot in your career. And stick around till the end because I'll share some ideas on how to mitigate the risks. Let's jump in. Let's take a moment to reflect. What would your dream job look like? What type of industry is that in? What type of company are you working for? What type of work are you doing? In the next few minutes, I'll help you get some clarity on it. We'll start by talking about strategy, specifically your career strategy, to help you figure out the next steps in your career. Why is career strategy important? It gives us direction. For example, if I want to travel from LA to San Francisco, at least I know what direction I'm headed in. So every step I take or every mile I drive is at least in that direction. But if I don't have a direction, then I may end up in a whole new location that I may not have thought about, which may not work out well. To figure out our career strategy, we're going to be using a concept called Ikigai. This is a Japanese concept. Let's go into each of these circles, then I'll talk about how these all come together. What do you love to do? What are you passionate about? Next is what are your strengths? What are you naturally good at? The third circle is what does the world need? The last thing is what can you get paid for? The concept of Ikigai is that we want to find an intersection that includes all of these circles. So make a list and you'll see the overlap coming together. Take a moment to do this exercise. What do you love to do? What are you passionate about? What are your interests, your hobbies, activities that you enjoy? What do you love so much that you do it for free? What lights you up? And when you're thinking about your passions, think about longer term, something that's going to last a few years at least. Take a moment to make a list about this. You can pause the video if you like. Next is what are your strengths? What are you naturally good at? What are some of your skills that you excel in? The funny thing is that we can be constrained by our major or the path that we've taken so far. But right now we're trying to break that mold and think about everything that includes as part of our strengths. The third circle is what does the world need? For example, it could be around water conservation or maybe humanitarian aid that we can provide to countries going through war. You can be thinking, I feel this is really broken in society. I want to go fix it. That's how you would populate this list. The last thing is what can you get paid for? At this point, you may want to research industries, jobs, and pay ranges to help you make this list. For example, AI is huge right now. Is there some way you can incorporate AI into the path that you're choosing? Again, making these lists and finding the overlap will help you figure out the next steps. For example, if you're really good at accounting and love games, maybe you can find a job doing accounting in the video game industry. As you did this exercise, were there any questions that came up for you or any aha moments? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you're finding this video helpful so far, smash that like button. Now you may face some hiccups when using Ikigai. What if you don't know? What if you don't know what your strengths are or what you love to do? In this case, I would say experiment. Maybe you can do a project in your spare time, or you could do a side hustle. For example, I started as a software engineer. I was doing AI on NBA Live back in 2006. But then I realized that I enjoyed leadership way more. It was more fulfilling. I was helping others succeed, and seeing them succeed gave me joy. So I switched to a more leadership role. Another hiccup is that you may not get a perfect combination. For example, you may be at a job where you're getting paid well, you're using your strengths, but maybe you don't love it. I would say reflect every 1 to 2 years. Where are you in this diagram, and where do you want to be? And what can you do to move more in the direction that you want to go to? Continuing that thought of reflection, you may realize that it may be okay wherever you are in that quadrant, and it's going to change over time. For example, when my wife and I were expecting, I actually wanted to quit my job earlier, but I stayed in that job because I was getting paid well for it and it played to my strengths. Lastly, I'd mentioned risks at the beginning of the video that it may not be easy to quit your current job because there are bills to pay. In this case, I would continue my thought of finding a project or a side hustle that you can do in your spare time. This will give you data on that new direction, and you may choose that you don't want to go in that direction and your current path is sufficient. Or you may like it so much that you continue pursuing it further to the point where you make sufficient income that helps you quit your current job. Bonus reflection question. What if you only had 6 months to live? I know we all have bills to pay, possibly student loans, and even mortgage. But this question can really help you figure out what path to take next and what are your next steps. Here's my personal story. This is the question why I quit my last job and decided to become a career coach and a content creator on YouTube and other channels. When I was at my last company, we shipped one of the biggest features for the company that year. I loved what I worked on and I loved my team. But after reflecting on this question, I realized that I wanted to make a bigger impact beyond the scope of my company, which led me to quit my job and pursue my one-on-one coaching and this YouTube channel. So take a moment to do this exercise, make a list for each of these quadrants, and figure out where that intersection lies for you and where you want to focus in on. And if you need further help, book a coaching call with me. I'll link the details in the section below. I wish you the very best. You got this.